Okay, live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Periscope. So, hold on just a sec. To everybody out there, hello, hola, Konnichiwa, Salaam, Ciao Namaste. Peace to all. This is the Pink Elf in the Room conversation. And for our last episode for today, what we're going to talk about is simply when you feel like life is just not going well. And what do I mean by that exactly? What I mean is simply the issues, the drama, the situations that many of us are going through, and we feel like they're just piling up on each other, and there's no way out of anything that we're doing. Maybe we're not even feeling well, maybe we're going through a lot of things, etc., etc. But that is what we're going to be talking about. And to first go off is simply what are some of the things that many people often go through. Well, some of them can be issues with family and friends. We may have dreams, for example, where our family may differ from our dreams of what we believe in creating, and that can be a problem. They may see us as doing nothing with our lives, and that maybe you need to go to college or you need to do this or you need to do that, and maybe that's not what you desire in life. For some, they may not desire it but do what their parents say anyways out of cultural respect towards them, and that can be the case for that. For friends, however, the case with that could be, it could be anywhere from you having issues with each other due to how you are now. Maybe you are slowly drifting apart and have different ideologies of how you feel about each other. You could be drifting apart and you might be upset that you can no longer talk to that one friend you enjoyed so dearly talking to, who filled your day perhaps, who made you happy, who grew you. You may have someone again who have switched sides. Maybe something they did one day, um, you couldn't believe they did. That was completely opposite of who they are, and it could have ended a friendship. It can be any amount of things that can happen, both with family and friends, that can cause issues. Um, that can sometimes mess with the psyche of how we feel about things, and hurting how we feel, hurting our feelings in a sense. It could be work issues. Many of us may per se be at a dead end job that's getting us nowhere, and we know it's getting us nowhere, but we feel there's no other way to go except for doing this job in and out, going in and out through shifts, back and forth, trying to just get through the day, get through the week, and so on and so forth, trying to go through life. It could be also that you could simply just be tired of this job. You could be tired of the patterns of working the same job over and over, and you desire something new, something fresh in life. It could be any amount of things. And some of these things, which can lead to the third thing, which is financial issues. Maybe you might have a job that's not paying you enough. Maybe you are at a crossroads where you need ends meet for certain situations that are going on in life, and you don't know what to do. You don't know how to pay maybe your bills anymore because of, I know for people, again, I mentioned this earlier, there are many people in America who are unable to pay their bills due to this I forgot what it's called. Pretty much this little stop that has pretty much stopped anyone who is in federal For example, like TSA, you have the city parks and whatnot, the camp parks that have been, these people aren't getting paid for what they're doing. So now they're trying to make ends meet for all the situations that are going on in their life. That's just one example. This can happen, though, however, to anybody who is trying to just get through life and keep going. And sometimes those financial issues, not on top of just everything, can lead to you feeling as though you can't get anything right, that you can't do anything or whatnot, or thing isn't going your way. And it might lead at times to inner issues, issues of the self, that you aren't good enough, that you weren't supposed to be here, that life is meaningless at this point because of the situation you're in and whatnot. And some people may think that that's crazy. Why would someone do that or this? But it's not that crazy. Let me give you an example of someone who probably didn't have financial issues. There was a German man who made $6 billion. One year he had lost $3 billion. 3 billion. And in losing that, he had killed himself, believing that he was a disgrace from his family for losing, had lost $3 billion. Now, to many of us, that might just be a scoff of the simple fact that you at least have money in comparison to some people. But to others, they may understand at that height what it means. But in my general opinion, I don't think you should really harm yourself because you lost such amount of money. You should, that right there is an inner issue of self. The fact that you are not paying attention to loving who you are, but the fact of all the issues and what you feel are your responsibilities. But you have to understand, at the end of the day, it's what you love to do that counts in growing who you are. No matter the issues you're going through, no matter what a person says about you, no matter what finances you still have to pay for, no matter what job you are, it's what you love and what you choose in life which will create what you desire. Even if you're not pleasantly happy with what you're doing, you have to find what works and what doesn't work for self, instead of the right or wrong, that it's right that I go to work because it's right that I have to pay these bills, because it's right so I can get a home, get a car, get a girlfriend, um, get a ring, make her my wife, etc. Vice versa, for women, get married, etc., etc., get a house, get a car, etc. That is the systematic ideology of the matrix of what we've chosen to be real, what we believe is how life is. That if you do not have these things, you are not. It's not that you're not good, but you are, to many people, lazy. You're trash in a sense to some people. You have no worth, and yet that is far from the truth of who you are. Every person goes through their own path and own situation, and to judge them for them going on their own path is it's very flawed, because we don't know. You may look at a person now and think they're going through stuff and call them trash and that they're not worthless, but then what if 10 years passes and that same person now has a mansion, has millions of dollars, has the dream they desired? Or even if they didn't have that, they have exactly what they desire, and they don't have to worry a day in their life about anything. Compared to the other person who might have to, again, pay those bills, pay for the house, pay for the car, the children, and so on and so forth. And I'm not saying there is anything wrong with that, because there's not. But what I'm saying is an observation of judgment. You should not judge someone based off of their own journey. We are all going through our own journey and our own adventure through life. Choose wisely what you say to a person, because what you say to others, you will see within yourself as you state it to them. So, how do you get better in growing the self? First of all, you get better by, of course, choosing so. So, how do you get better? By choosing to have a better life, even if things are not going well. The first thing you desire, you may choose to understand is the simple fact that knowing your truth, not the truth that people tell you is out there expanded, because that's a very broad statement, but the truth within self. This does not mean finding what is right due to the economy, what is right due to maybe your belief system, what is right due to moral code, excuse me, what is right due to mentally, physically, emotionally. This has nothing to do with those things. What it does have to do is simply this: what works and what doesn't work for you. What works to keep your body healthy? What helps to keep your mind healthy? What helps to keep your emotions healthy? What helps to get you to your goals, even if you have to work? What helps you to work with your family and friends and be able to compromise and grow with them? What helps you? When we're talking about, for example, work, one of the things in my own experience was when I was working on certain things, I was still working upon my craft of what I loved. Even if I didn't have all the time in the world, I pushed and pushed and pushed because it's something I desire. You have to look at your own dreams as a crop field. If you are unwilling to take care of them, even if you're busy with something else, if you're not willing to just even sit down and take time to water your own dreams, don't expect them to grow. Don't expect your goals in life to grow. You have to be willing to take time to pour the water in, to check it, to seriously talk to it. You got to remember that plants do have they have energy in them. They have life. They are living just like you. And your dreams and goals are the same way. They are living. You have to speak about it. You have to speak it into existence. You to believe it to be true. If you do not, what you will do, in my own experience and even my own journey, is you will doubt yourself. Constantly and consistently going around and around in circles, wondering, why haven't I gotten to my goal? And you have to understand, us as a species love to play this merry-go-round game, saying one thing but doing another. We say we'll do our goals, but we'll get upset because we don't think it's going to work out in the end. And what we are doing is literally playing a game of backfiring ourselves without realizing to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt and give ourselves first thought that this is going to go great. This is going to go smoothly, and I choose for it to go smoothly. When you are choosing, no matter what issue may arise, you are choosing for it to grow. You can use the same ideology in any aspect in life. What you say affects the situation at hand, but your mental of how you see things, your perception, is what will create what you choose in life and desire. It can be good, it can be bad. In our experience of aspect of what we believe as good or bad, it's at the end of the day, it is a choice to create or destroy, to to flourish or to believe in failure in self. The second thing is knowing your worth. Many of us at times, even in my own experience, may believe we're not worth the time of many people because we don't feel we're strong enough. We're not clever enough. We're not smart enough. We're not emotionally stable enough. We're not financially stable enough to truly call ourselves like one of the greats. You have to understand that even what you consider as one of the greats went through difficulties such as yourself. And even if that's not the case, what I would state is simply this as a suggestion: don't worry about what those people are doing. They do not matter. What their life is about is their life. What your life is about is your life. You cannot compromise. I'm sorry. You cannot have a comparison between one person and you. You can't be comparing. You have to realize that you can only compare with you because it's you evolving you. It's not you going against that person to evolve yourself against that one. You are going and working upon yourself to create what you desire. And knowing who you are, that means understanding unconditional love of self, self-care, self-love first. That means working upon certain issues maybe that are traumatizing to you, that you don't know how you feel about, that you don't know what to do about, and taking the time even when you're afraid to just make it happen and push it. Instead of worrying about the fact that I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, because this person's here and this person's there. No, forget all of that. Take time to tell yourself, forget all of that. I'm gonna love me. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. Don't worry about what other people are saying. All that matters is what you think of self and what you choose to be for self. Do you choose to be happy? Do you choose to smile? Do you choose to be your peace? Do you choose to be your wealth? Do you choose to be your tranquility? Your life, your energy, you. Do you choose to be your highest you can be? Choose that. And you'll know your worth. No matter what anyone tells you or what anyone calls you or anything, you'll know your worth because of the simple fact that there's no longer any doubt about what other people say because you know yourself. If someone says something about you, again, it just leads back to what I was saying earlier. That what you see in others, you see in yourself. And whatever that person sees in themselves by saying it to you must deeply be affecting them. So sometimes you have to have remorse for people like that because they too are going through their own journey and they don't realize it. Last is fighting for self. You have to be willing to fight for you. No one is going to fight for you more than you are because no one is going to love you more than you are. Fight for you. Fight for loving you, taking care of you, cherishing you. There might be times where people have mentally frustrated you or made you feel a certain way where you may feel rude to people or you may think in a certain way or so on and so forth due to behavioral instances, which we may call verbal abuse for some people. And it may lower us to believe who we are as a person. This can come in many ways. Maybe someone says to a woman how they look is fat or something like that, etc., etc. And things like that can scar people because of the simple fact, as a species, we take more negative than positive inside of self. And that's when you need to work towards letting go of that negative energy and learning to fight for yourself no matter what people say of you. If you love who you are, you'll fight for who you are, for you, because you deserve it. Now, What does this have to do? This is the end. This is close to the end. What does this have to do with the soul? What this has to do with the soul is simply this. Let me tell you a story. There was a farmer, and he had lost a horse. The horse ran away. And the people near the farmer had said, "Oh, how terrible, you lost all your animals." And the farmer had simply said, "Maybe." Later that day, the horse returned with other horses, other stallions. And the villagers, sorry, I meant to say the villagers early. The villagers near the farmer had stated, "Oh, that's amazing, you have so many horses now." And he had simply said, "Maybe." One of his sons had tried to tame the horse and fell off and ended up getting injured and had to be rushed to the hospital. The people had said to him in the village, "That is a terrible thing. What happened to your son?" "Maybe." The son eventually healed up, but forces had come in to draft people into a war. And so they looked around for all the sons of the village and then picked them except for his son. And the people of the village had said, "Wow, that's amazing that your son didn't get picked because of his energy. What a miracle." And the farmer had said, "Maybe." The reason why the farmer had stated this so many times is because in the end, there is no good, there is no bad to any situation you are in. It is all perception. It is a choice for it to be good or bad in your life. If it is good, choose for it to be good and smile even in your difficulties. If it is bad and you choose it to be bad, you will stay in those negativities and you will think nothing else. You will use your pessimism to think that everything is bad and horrible. And I'm not saying this just to say this, I'm saying this due to my own experience of seeing things in both sides where I was pessimistic and I saw things as there's nothing good of this world and whatnot. And of course, seeing the optimism, realizing that it works in your favor to grow that. It's understandable to be very, I would say, a little bit cynical of what people may say or do, but seeing the highest good in people is vitally important in growing self. You'll know when people at some point aren't telling you the truth, are not being as truthful as needed. It is a gut feeling, and the more you practice that and understand that of self, the easier it will be to understand that there is no reason to worry about how bad it is. No, it's not perfect. Yes, you're gonna have times where you're gonna be upset, and yes, in that moment, that is okay. There's time. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to be afraid. It is okay to go through frustration and whatnot. But go through that and keep going. Take a deep breath. Meditate again. Dance, cook, whatever makes you happy. Whatever allows you to be your happiness. Go for it. And don't let that stop you from your dreams. If you have dreams, go for them. Don't let that stop you if you're working or you have a busy schedule and you feel you don't have time. Choose to make time for self if that's what you love doing. Do not believe that I just don't have enough time to change this or that. You have to be willing to choose to change it. Choose what you desire in life, and you will find how beautiful, how magnificent, how divine, how amazing, how creative you all are as the gods, the goddesses, and the creators within who you are. So, we're ending it here, but to everybody out there, have a good morning, a great afternoon, and a fantastic evening. To everybody, peace and namaste.